You already know, like, I call my mom for everything. It don't matter what kind of trouble I'm in. If I'm the one who started it, if I'm the one who finished it, I'm gonna call my mom. I'm gonna call my mom. So I said, doop, 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 doop. Hey, mom. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl XO Kara, but you can call me Kara, and I'm back with another freaking video. So if you read that title, that's right, I'm back with another freaking story time. And y'all, this story had me all the way chopped, screwed, all the above, and we about to get into it because as y'all can see, they played with me. They played with me. So we about to get right into it. Make sure y'all got your wine. And don't mind how I look, to be honest. This video was not planned at all, but I just had to get this little story time out here before, you know, it faded away from my memory. So we about to get into it. I got some Riesling. But yeah, so last June I had purchased my first car, which I'm gonna put a picture up of my little baby Thanos. Yes, it's Thanos, don't drag me. But yeah, last June I had got my first car, y'all. Like, we was searching high and low for a freaking car. When I tell you this search was so difficult, but I just wanted a car. I needed a car. I was tired of spending money on Ubers. Like, y'all, Uber is not cheap at all. Like, I be spending like $30, $50 just to get to places and still have to worry about coming back home. Like, that's $60. That's more than what I'm putting in my tank. So yeah, like, Ubers was not cheap at all. All right, y'all, so during my search, I knew I wanted either a Nissan, a Toyota, or a Honda, just for the simple fact that those are always good starter cars. Like, I didn't need nothing all crazy. I didn't need no BMW. I didn't need no Jeep or nothing like that. I just wanted something for the time being that was going to get me from point A to point B, but also had like other quality, like new qualities in there. Like, I wanted a backup camera, had to have Bluetooth. Like, it was just like little stuff that I still wanted inside my car, but I wasn't picky. Like, I really did want a Nissan, Toyota, or Honda, because those are good running cars. So I had went to Hertz because if y'all don't know, but Hertz is like a rental center or whatever, but they also do sell used cars. So I decided to go to Hertz because I knew a couple of people that had bought cars from Hertz and they had pretty good experiences. So I'm like, all right, bet. So we really could not find a car, y'all. Like, we was looking everywhere. I found a few cars, but they just weren't in my price range. And so, like, at first I was just about to spend the extra money to get a Toyota, but my mom was like, don't try to rush it. Like, you know, take your time. You know, what's for you is going to always be for you, is going to be there. So we finally went to this other Hertz location. It was like way out in the county somewhere, like way out. So we finally went there. I found this car. It was a Nissan Sentra, my baby. So we test drove it, or whatever the case may be, and everything seemed fine with the car. So, you know, I signed that little dotted line, drove my baby off the lot, beep beep, I'm on wheels. So at this point, I had my car for maybe about, like, I want to say 4 months, because I got my car in June, and this was maybe around like October, November-ish. I don't really remember, but it was around that time. It was around that time. So I noticed, I didn't even notice it, my uncle noticed it. One time we was outside talking, and it was like this clicking noise that was going on with my car. So, but the whole time the clicking noise been there, like, when I pulled off the lot, like, I heard the clicking noise, but the clicking noise would only happen when I was braking my car, like when I put my car, like when I hit the brake to slow down, that's when it would happen. So I thought that just was something that the car did. Like, I don't know, y'all know, like, cars these days, they be adding in new stuff, and you know, you be thinking your car is messed up, and whole time that's just how it sounds. So my uncle was like, no, like, it's not supposed to sound like that. So I'm like, oh snap, because it was getting worse. Like, before it would only be like when I was hitting the brake, but then, like, as time went on, because remember I told y'all that was like 4 months time span. So, like, y'all know, like, if y'all don't get your car fixed, it's just gonna keep getting worse. So it literally kept getting worse. So now it wasn't just when I was braking, it was like literally, like, I'd be in the middle of the highway and my car would jerk and do a clicking noise. So I'm like, oh no, I gotta get my car fixed. Okay, so I finally found a mechanic, because everybody was telling me it's like this mechanic that live around my way or something like that. And everybody was telling me that, you know, they did good work, they did their inspections, wasn't nothing wrong with their car, blah, blah, blah. So wine break. So I had took my car there or whatever, and they test drove it and they heard the clicking noise. They basically came to the conclusion it was my left, if y'all don't know cars, I don't know cars, but I'm gonna just tell you what it was anyway. It was the left front axle and the wheel hub, a hub bearing or a wheel bearing, whatever it's called. All in all, it came up to $700. $700. So, oh, and I had to add in a wheel alignment because they said whenever you get your car worked on, you should just get a wheel alignment. So that was like an extra $150. So I wound up in total paying $700. So I paid it or whatever. Everything was good. I got my baby back within that next day. It was riding smooth as shit, you know. I was rolling. So that's when, after like a week, all of a sudden I just started noticing like this weird sound with my car. Like it was like, I'm not gonna say like it was a whistling sound, but it just was like some type of sound where it just didn't sound like how my car sounded before I took it there, outside of the clicking noises. So it was this one day my brother, he had asked me to take him to this, like follow him to this tire shop so he could get his tires fixed, or he had to get something fixed on his car, but basically he needed a ride home. So I had to follow him there. So as I'm warming up my car, I go to try to like pull off. It's making this weird whistling noise. It's like, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with my car? So like, I don't pay nothing to it. I just keep, you know, I try to keep driving. And as I'm pulling off, okay, so here's my block, and it's like a big two-way lane. So I gotta look out for both sides of the traffic. So I go to like inch out or whatever, and my car is just like jerking. So it wasn't no cars coming. So I finally turn around, like I make a left, and I'm driving down the street, and my car is literally like jerking, making these weird noises. So I'm like, oh no, I pulled the car over. And you already know, like, I call my mom for everything. It don't matter what kind of trouble I'm in. If I'm the one who started it, if I'm the one who finished it, I'm gonna call my mom. I'm gonna call my mom. So I said, doop, 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 hey mom. And I was telling her about my car. So she like, oh no, just turn around and you can take my car. So I wanted to take my mom's car, blah, blah, blah. That was that. So I walked around there because they was the last people that worked on my car. Yes, they like was that close proximity that I could walk to the dealership. So I walked to the dealership and I'm basically telling them like, I came to y'all to get my, and I'm gonna post the picture of the bill so y'all can see exactly what I got done in case I'm saying it wrong or whatever. But I'm like, yeah, like I got my car fixed from y'all last week. Y'all changed the front axle and the wheel bearing and y'all put a wheel alignment on there. And now my car is like running funny, is doing little jerky movements, blah, 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 blah. But the jerky, it was like the jerky movements would happen like in the beginning of me starting my car and letting it warm off. Like, you know how after your car warm up, that first pull off, that's when the jerky stuff would happen. But after a while, it would go away and my car would be fine. So at this point, it wasn't early in the morning because of course I let my car warm up before I went over there. So we was talking to him and he basically test drove my car and he was basically saying like he heard like the whistling noise that was making, and he basically came to the conclusion that it was my transmission. But I was asking him prior to him even test driving the car, I went and asked him, I called and asked him if they changed the transmission fluid from what had fell out from when they was fixing the car, because somebody had told me like you got to make sure they put transmission fluid back in there because the parts that they had to take out, you know, the transmission fluids fall out and they have to replace it. So I asked them, they said, oh, it was only a little bit, it wasn't enough to where those gonna mess up your transmission, yada yada yada. So they, after that or whatever, they test drove my car. That's when he said it sounded like it's a transmission problem, and he said that he think that I should take it to the Nissan dealer. Mind you, this is not the same person that worked on my car, this is somebody else. So I take it to a Nissan dealer or whatever the case may be, and the Nissan dealer runs a diagnostics and he finds out that it's my transmission. I need a new transmission. So luckily it was under warranty, so I did not have to pay for the transmission. The transmission was under warranty because I was underneath the certain miles in order for me to get a replaced transmission. And so I'm like, okay, bet, like, you know, y'all can fix it or whatever. But in order for them to fix it, they needed the transmission light to cut on. This whole time my transmission light was never on, and Nissan had kept my car for like 3 days trying to get my transmission light to cut on. So my transmission light finally comes on, and they basically, I'm gonna post the screenshots or whatever because I don't really feel like remembering word for word of what I said, but basically they just told me that it was my transmission. They was able to get and they had to get the light on. So I told y'all they had to get the light on. They finally got the light on. When they put the light on, they text me and basically told me like, whoever replaced my front axle damaged it, and that was the cause of my transmission being shot. Like, so the people at the shop, whatever they did to my car, they fucked up my transmission. And so then they was telling me that the price is $625. So I'm like, of course I'm gonna have to fix it, because at this point, you know, it's my car, I need to get around, so I don't have no choice but to spend the $625 and fix the car. So I tell them that they can go ahead and fix it. So then I take it back. I mean, I don't take my car back. I went back to the other place, and I basically showed them the text messages about whoever replaced my front axle, damaged my threads and my transmission and all of that. And I'm basically telling them that y'all need to come up with, y'all need to reimburse me my $700. And so that way I can pay for it to be fixed by real mechanics, because clearly y'all don't know how to do nothing. So I go over there with my stepdad this time, because I'm like, y'all not gonna play with me. That's for sure. Y'all not gonna play with me. Stepdad walk over there. My stepdad, you know, he talking his talk or whatever, talking his talk, and he basically telling them like, so he looked at the because I went over there with my receipt from when I had first paid them to fix my axle, and we had called the Nissan people, and the Nissan people even told them themselves that whoever replaced my front axle is what caused my transmission to be shot. So basically he was like, the mechanic at the shop where I originally went, we gonna call them, because I just need I don't know why I didn't figure out a name beforehand, but we just gonna call their mechanic Dum Dum. We gonna call their mechanic Dum Dum, because they truly are dumb. We gonna call it Dum Dum. So the Dum Dum mechanics, they was basically saying how they gonna go to the Nissan dealership and they gonna check out the car, and they gonna basically replace the parts, like give them the parts so that way they could fix it or whatever the case may be. Now this is before Nissan even touched my car, because at this point I went around, once Nissan told me what was wrong with my car, I went right over there. Like I went right over there, because y'all not playing with me. Like that's what y'all not gonna do. You're not gonna play with me. So the Nissan wasn't even fixing on my car, so they talked to the Nissan people. Dum Dum mechanic talked to the Nissan people, and they basically like, oh, we gonna go over there tomorrow, look at the car, see what's exactly wrong with it, and we'll either cover the cost or we'll pay for the parts. So they hung up or whatever. He told me basically what they said, what I just told y'all. That's what he's telling me. And so my stepdad basically told him, so he was like, so either way, she's good, she don't have to come out of pocket. That's literally what my stepdad asked. The man was like, no, you don't have to, blah, 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 blah. We're going to see if they see the issue. If it's the front axle like they say it is, we're going to replace it, blah, 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 blah. Boom. Okay. So the next day comes, we have to go meet up there with the people. No, that next day come, the man never showed up. I'm skipping the part. The man never showed up. The man never showed up to view my car or anything. So Nissan asked me if I wanted them to continue working on my car. I said yes. So that's when the next day I go pick up my car, because he finally decides to try to show up the day that my car is fixed. So my car is fixed. They tell me that I could go pick it up or whatever the case may be. Dude walks in there and they have the part, because I told you they said that they wanted to view the part to see what was actually damaged on the part. So they had the part. The mechanic, the Dum Dum mechanic, comes in, and he basically because Nissan is asking for a payment. So like, why would you show? I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because I'm getting mad, y'all. We're gonna bring it back. So the mechanic is in there, the Dum Dum mechanic is in there, basically trying to tell me that Nissan is the one who damaged it. They had to rip it out in order to da-da-da-da-da. So the Nissan people basically telling him like, no, it was like that when it came here. We didn't do anything to it. So now it was like a back and forth little match or whatever. So now I'm just sitting here and I straight said to him, so I'm like, are you paying for it or not? Because they're telling me y'all the ones who damaged it, so y'all need to be paying for this. I'm not paying the extra $700 when y'all the one who fucked it up in the first place. So he basically storms off, y'all. Storms off with my part. Storms off with the broken part. Like, first of all, that's my part that I paid for. Why would you even walk? That was my $700 part that I paid for. Why would you ever feel comfortable to walk off with it? Regardless if it was damaged or not, why would you walk off for it? I paid for it. And you didn't even fucking pay for the $625. You stormed off. So this man storms off. I run out of there. I'm snapping, y'all. Like, I'm like raising my voice and everything. Like, I'm snapping. So the man in there, the Nissan people in there, they basically telling me that, like, you know, I have to pay it, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm blowing this man phone up. Blowing this man phone up. This man is not answering, y'all. Like, he's not answering. Like, this man really, like, drove off the lot with my part. He's not answering the phone. He's not trying to do nothing. So that's when I text him. I'm like, it's damaged. Y'all the problem. Y'all need to fix this. Da, 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 da. He's not answering, y'all. So at that point, I just chalked it up. And I wound up having to pay another $625 in order for me to get my car. And I was just so stressed out, y'all. I was bawling my eyes out. I was crying because I'm just like, yo, like, did this really just happen to me? Did I really just lose out on $1,400, y'all? I really, within a week, I lost out on $1,400. I was so pissed off. And it's just so crazy to me, like, how something like that could happen. Like, I just was like, I don't know, y'all. Like, I just was so irritated. So I wound up trying to sue them. Yes, y'all, I tried to sue them. So basically, I made a complaint with the civil court. But the reason why I didn't go through with the civil court complaint is because they wanted me to pay like $200 in order for me to get the complaint out there in order for us to like get it settled. And yeah, I paid the $200, but it's not guaranteed. Like, they could say that they could just, you know, not agree with me to where as though they was in the fault, like they was at fault. And, you know, I'd be out of $200 plus another $1,400. No, I didn't want to do that. So I basically tried to make a dispute with my bank, and the bank basically didn't accept my dispute. It just was a whole lot of stuff, and I just had to chalk it up. And just know that I will never be returning to that mechanic ever again, because yeah, no, they had me all the way chopped. But my baby is running nice and smooth, y'all. My baby is fine. After that, yeah, so after that, my baby was running smooth. Like, wasn't no issues with my baby till this day. My baby is good. And I have a new warranty on the transmission that they just replaced. So if something was to happen again, you know, I'll be good. But yeah, that's the little story time about how he ruined my transmission and he ran off with $1,400. And just know, if I catch him out on the street, I'ma just throw these hands at him. I'ma just boop bop him real quick. Just throw these hands at him because you really tried me. But y'all, that was it for this story time, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.